Shifting focus now, a significant number of Indian students studying in the neighbouring country Bangladesh have begun returning home, with many arriving in Agartala following a wave of student protests since the one last week against the quota system in that nation. They expressed concern that the situation in Bangladesh could worsen, especially after the Bangladeshi government ordered a nationwide shutdown of its mobile internet network. 105 people have died in the violent protests in Bangladesh. Here's what Indian students who returned and the Ministry of External Affairs had to say.
वहाँ पे 4 दिन पहले सिचुएशन एकदम से नॉर्मल थी। 4 दिन पहले ऑल ऑफ सडन हम लोगों को न्यूज़ आया कि घर से मत निकलिए, हॉस्टल से मत निकलिए, बाहर मत जाइए। देन हम लोगों को पता चला कि वहाँ पे कोटा मूवमेंट हो रहा है, बहुत सारा गैदरिंग हो रही है स्टूडेंट्स की। तो हम लोगों को कॉलेज से भी ऑफ मिल गया, कॉलेज वालों ने भी मना किया कि आप कॉलेज आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। देन उसके बाद हम लोग फिर सोचा, हमने प्रिंसिपल सर से अपने बात करी कि क्या होगा सर, क्या करा जाए। तो सर ने ये बोला कि आप वापस इंडिया चले जाइए अगर आप इनसिक्योर फील कर रहे हैं। हमने इंडियन एम्बेसी को भी कांटेक्ट किया, उन्होंने भी यही आंसर दिया कि आप वापस इंडिया लौट जाइए।
All our Indian nationals are safe there, and we have a large student community, as I told you, 8,500 students or thereabout. Many of them pursue medical education also in that country, so they are all safe and sound, and we are in touch. They are in touch with our High Commission, with our Assistant High Commission as well, and we are regularly keeping in touch with them to render all assistance, any assistance that they may need.
My colleague Ghazali joins us with more details. Ghazali, some students have returned from Bangladesh, some are still there. The ministry, of course, saying that they are safe there. But the current situation in Bangladesh seems grim, as the army has been deployed as well in an emergency situation.
Yes, as per the data available, we have received the total Indian nationals who have arrived till yesterday were 245, including the Indian students who are 125, and the border crossings between India and Bangladesh is being monitored by the Indian and Bangladeshi agencies, and the situation is quite volatile in Bangladesh as of now. There is a clash going on between the pro-government protesters as well as the anti-quota group, and that is exactly why this has spiraled across the state of Bangladesh. The communication lines have been cut off. Till yesterday, the Indian High Commission over there in Dhaka was in touch with all those who were willing or who had placed this request to go back to India. And till day before yesterday, the agencies were keeping an eye and they were in close coordination with the Bangladeshi authorities. They were monitoring the situation there. But as of now, it appears that the situation is going to continue to be like this, as well as because the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she addressed the nation a couple of days ago when the anti-quota protesters burned the state broadcaster's office in the national capital. And since then, the situation has only turned worse over there in Bangladesh. The Indian agencies are also keeping an eye to ensure that no anti-India sentiments are stirred amid this quota protest, because the Awami League, the ruling party over there, many of their leaders addressed the nation, and they also used the word Razakars for the protesters, which is a derogatory term for those who collaborated with Pakistani army during the War of Liberation in 1971. So every political party over there is trying to take a political mileage out of these continued protests, and that is exactly why the Indian agencies are also on tenterhooks. They are on their toes to monitor and to assess the situation, that any more requests, if are made by the Indian students, then they are brought back safely from Bangladesh to Delhi.
Right, Ghazali, although India has said that it's an internal matter of Bangladesh, there seems to be another challenge posed for us with our students still there. The fact that internet shutdown has taken place as well and connectivity is completely shut down in Bangladesh.
Yes, certainly. The communication lines are shut across most parts of the country, and that is what it is making the situation look like very tense, because not only in the national capital, but every day the reports of violence are coming from across the country, from remote areas, from the university areas, and the students have not budged. They have not agreed to for negotiations with the government. They want the government to scrap this quota, which has been reserved for the family or the relatives of those who fought in the 1971 war for the liberation of Bangladesh, and that is why even the protests are continuing across the country due to the communication lines being suspended. The situation is like this, that the Bangladeshi police are cracking down on the protesters, and it doesn't look like that in the near coming days there will be any talks or negotiation, because violence is spiraling across the country.